Hey folks, how we doing? This is Sportscard Talk with Mark, episode 5. First, let me send a shout out to my oldest daughter, Elise. She's the director, videographer, producer of this show. She's really into it, and I just want to thank her. Thank you, Ellie. I appreciate it. So kids gather around, join in. I'm going to talk about baseball cards for a little while. I also have 4 really big followers, my 4 brother-in-laws. They're really into this show. They're sending me encouragement, advice, questions, words of wisdom, and so thank you also. I appreciate that as well. They think very highly of me. They think I know more than anybody about sports, and which is probably true. But for this episode, let me say this: my heart is with football cards. That's where my heart is. I played football I had a 10-year career. Back in '98, if Coach would have just put me in, we'd have been state champs. I promise, we'd have been state champs back in '98. At any rate, I'm gonna talk about baseball cards for this episode. This set right here before you is 1992 Upper Deck. Upper Deck kind of transcended baseball cards. Before Upper Deck came along, there was Topps and Fleer and Score and Bowman, and they were kind of plain Jane cards. Upper Deck really made baseball cards sexy. They have action shots, they have posed features, and they have holograms on the back. They're a really sleek design, and so everything in this set I'm going to go through everything today is from this one set, 1992 Upper Deck. First is this guy named Randy Johnson, also known as the Big Unit. I'm going to tell you everything I know about this guy. He's 6'10". He is the second tallest pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball. This guy is wild, he's nasty, he's ugly, and he's mean. He was scary. He would make hitters poop their pants. Could you imagine? This guy could throw like 105 miles an hour. He played for 7 different teams, 22 years. His name's the Big Unit because he ran into Rock Reigns in practice. And he goes, "What are you doing, dude? You're a big unit." And for whatever reason, that really took off, and that's what everybody knows him as. He has 303 career wins, 4,875 strikeouts, the most strikeouts in the history of baseball, besides Nolan Ryan. But he has it because he played for like 47 years. Randy Johnson just played for 22 years, so incredible pitcher. He was the MVP of the 2001 World Series for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He also played for the Expos, the Mariners, several other teams, but that's the Big Unit for you, Randy Johnson. This guy, Pat Mahomes. Does that name sound familiar? You may have heard the name Patrick Mahomes, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is not him. This is his Diddy. He played 10 seasons for the major league in the major leagues as a left-handed pitcher. He had an okay career. He won a few more games than he lost. His ERA, earned run average, was 5.47, so not too good. His son's pretty good at football, though. Pat Mahomes, rookie card, 1992 Upper Deck. So back in the early 90s, I was really into the Atlanta Braves. I think everybody in the South was. The Braves won the World Series in 1995, and even though they didn't win the World Series this year, these are their 4 really good pitchers. This has got to be the best pitching squad in the history of baseball. None of these guys were as big and fast as Randy Johnson, but they're really good with curveballs and changeup pitches and things like that. They had Steve Avery, okay? Tom Glavine, see him? John Smoltz, okay? And Greg Maddux. He was probably the ace. This year he was with the Cubs, but he later went on to the Braves. 4 all-star pitchers, 4 Hall of Famers. Unbelievable. This same year with Upper Deck, there's also a really cool card, Deion Sanders, football player. NFL Hall of Famer, but he also played baseball for a few years, was an outfielder and a leadoff hitter and a big base stealer. That's Deion Sanders. I think he's the only player in the history of sports to be in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and the NFL Pro Bowl in the same year. Pretty incredible. And then we got David Justice, who was an outfielder also for that Braves team. Beautiful swing. That's David Justice for you. Folks, I think that about wraps it up. Oh, I got one more bonus for you. Speaking of my brother-in-laws, Nick and Bear, Jeremy Regans, they talk quite a bit of what great athletes they were in elementary school. They're regularly talking about that. I want to point out some proof of that. When I was going through these cards, in the bottom of one of Nick's box, I found this. This is a ribbon from Plu Elementary. I can't make this stuff up, guys. 1989, so they were like in second grade, something like that. Bear and Nick got 4th place in tug of war for Plu School. And in that year, there were 4 teams in second grade. So good job. This definitely proves you guys are good athletes. I think that's about it for now. Join me next episode. Thank you. That's all, folks.